The next issue that I'll be discussing is credit cards and whether or not I think young people should use credit cards or not. And personally, I'm of the opinion that credit cards are evil. I have personally experienced credit card debt when I was in my 20s. Um, I, of course, signed up for my first credit card when I was 18 years old. The application was in the bag of the shopping bag that I got with my textbooks in college, and my first credit card was from the bank, some bank of South Dakota, the only bank that would be willing to give me a credit card at 18 years old with no credit history. So the interest rates were high, and I didn't exercise the level of personal responsibility that I would today, and so I racked up a pretty decent credit card bill by the time I was 20, in my early 20s. And as a result, I had to enroll in a credit counseling program where I consolidated all of my debts except for my student loan debt, and enrolled in the credit counseling program where basically it took 5 years for me to pay off all of my credit card debt. There's an expression in law school that they teach you. If you live like a lawyer while you're a law student, you will live like a law student when you're a lawyer. And that is something that I learned the hard way. Um, that expression actually is usually given in the context of student loan debt and how much to borrow. Um, but I think it's equally applicable to the credit card realm. Um, 18-year-olds really do not need credit cards. Um, if they want to have one that has something like a $300 credit limit just to build up their credit, then I think that's a good idea. But I think you have to be responsible when you're using it and make sure you pay off the balance each month. You don't want to build up debt every month and keep adding it to the credit card, because before you know it, you'll find yourself in some pretty serious trouble where your minimum payments are more than you can afford every month, and then your credit rating takes a hit. And that brings us into the issue of credit scores. And if you destroy your credit at a young age, you're setting yourself up for difficulties later on down the road in life. If you want to buy a car or lease a car, never mind even buying, um, um, renting a house, rent, buying a house, getting a mortgage, all of these things require credit checks. And the higher your, the lower your credit score, the higher the risk you are to a potential creditor. So your credit score really impacts the amount you're going to pay down the line. Because if you're a higher risk, you're going to be charged higher interest rates. If you're charged higher interest rates, you're going to pay more over the long haul. So credit cards, generally speaking, are not a good thing. I learned my lesson with the credit cards, by the way, after completing the 5 year credit counseling program that I was enrolled in. I, as a condition of enrolling in the program, you have to basically cut up your credit cards and not get any new ones, and I've largely stayed away from credit cards ever since. I have one for emergencies, but I generally do not use a credit card anymore. And actually, having racked up a lot of credit card debt in my 20s taught me a valuable lesson in terms of financial responsibility and learning to live within my means. It's a lesson I wish I had learned without having to rack up so much debt, but it is what it is. Um, and hopefully, anybody out there listening to me can learn from my mistake and be responsible with their credit cards. Um, yeah.